Hi, my name is Harvey. I'm 23 years old and I'm a ex-flight attendant for Ryanair. So I got into this field because I always had an interest in planes. And for someone that didn't at the time have the strongest educational background, it was the best way to kind of get that kind of experience that I wanted. At the time, I didn't go to university. I finished college, or I guess high school equivalent, and then went straight into work in other places. And I didn't find 9 to 5 jobs in the office the most interesting, so I wanted to do something a bit outside of that. It's a bit of a strange highlight, but for me, it's whenever one of the pilots need to go to the bathroom, I was able to go inside of the cockpit and obviously sit with the other pilot.
Yeah.
Because as a safety feature, whenever one pilot leaves the cockpit, someone else as a member of staff had to be in there at all times. So there's 2 people in case of what that pilot flying the plane goes unconscious. So whenever I was in the cockpit, I could see the views of the actual horizon as we're flying. And also it was just nice for me to kind of picture myself being in that chair one day. I'd say one stereotype would be that flight attendants are considered to just be waiters and waitresses in the sky.
Yeah.
Which is often really untrue. Every single procedure we know by head within our heads. So I would say it's quite a broad set of knowledge that we have. It's not just hospitality. We are looking after the lives of 180 people on board, if not more. It's both a pro and a con. The fact that we work with different people every single day. The pros being if you have a bad team, the next day you're probably not going to see them again for a while, which is always a pro. But there's also cons in terms of, once again, if you like the team you're on, it's going to be a while before you probably run into them again. So there's both negatives and also positives. The thing that you got to bear in mind is it makes every single day interesting because you don't know how things are going to run. And that's kind of what you sign up for when you become a cabin crew, part of being a cabin crew. Is that every day you are working with different people, you're connecting, networking with these different individuals and learning how they work and adapting to that. So I'd say, yes, it can be tough, especially if you're not the most extroverted or communicative, but it's one of the best ways of bringing out your confidence if you are shy or, struggle with talking to different people and interacting with new people. In terms of managing, my personal relationships, it was tough because, I was be awake for periods that they were all asleep, or I would be asleep during the times that they were all awake. I didn't really talk to my friends too much. I didn't really talk to my family too much. Mostly that was saved for my days off where I could come back from London to Leicester so that I could, catch up with my family or catch up with friends, or have a little bit of time to manage with my other relationships. So I had I was once touched inappropriately when I was on board working by a female passenger. Every flight attendant on board, including supervisors, have all been through it. So, or maybe not all, but most that I know of have been dealt with or treated with in a similar manner. So we all feel for each other and empathise with each other, and we all aim to help each other in those cases. So that's exactly what I did. I just spoke to my supervisor, and as far as I'm concerned, that report was fired through and the passenger was banned. The job itself is amazing. You get to work with these big, massive machines, interact with pilots every single day, interact with the different flight attendants, engineers. You get to meet so many different people and hear about their stories. The amount of stories that I heard as I was just having conversations with people on board was incredible. I've had such great connections while meeting those kind of people that I would forever be grateful for. And those kind of interactions that I had gave me such a strong amount of confidence when it came to just talking to people in my daily life. Because it was no longer a job, I can just do it on a regular basis. And for someone who was as introverted as I once was, it was one of the best experiences I could have ever asked for.